Welcome to Money Talks. This week I'm going to be talking about wants and needs. Many people confuse what they want with what they actually need. So what is the difference between what you want and what you need? What you need is money for food, shelter and clothing. It does not mean food in a restaurant. It doesn't mean frozen food or ready-made meals or gourmet foods. Shelter is anything that will get you out of the cold or the heat, regardless of how cramped the quarters are, a safe place to live, just so you're not out on the street. And clothing? If you have clothing in your closet, no matter how many years old, and it still fits you, that's your basic clothing. You don't need to go out and shop for more clothing. And you certainly don't have to have designer clothing. What I'm going to show is a blueprint. We'll start out with the extreme circumstance, the extreme kinds of budgeting. If you have more money at your disposal and you're not incurring credit card debts, then you can use some of that money to relax some of the standard of living that a recession or a depression forces us into. You may want a very big house, but do you really need it in this economy? Can you stay in the house you're in? Or if your mortgage is too onerous for you to handle, perhaps you could consider downgrading and moving to a smaller house. I had to grapple with this issue myself a couple of years ago when I wanted a bigger house. And I was all set to buy one. It was a beautiful house and was everything I'd ever wanted. And I didn't buy it because I saw signs that the economy was turning. I had to wrestle with myself, with my wants and needs. I'm still living in the same house. It's a bit cramped, but it's mine. And someday, if the economy turns around and the money is there and that property comes back on the market, maybe then I'll move. Or maybe I'll just have become accustomed to less space. Do you want or need a luxury car? Or could you make do with something that gets you from A to B? Do you want or need more clothing or an extra piece of jewellery? What is it that you do need? You may say that you need things for business, for example, better clothing. But do you really need more clothing? Or could you buy clothing more cheaply? Ladies, how many pairs of shoes do you actually need? While some books are wonderful to own, must you own all the books you read? Or can you get some at the library? How often do you go out to eat? What kinds of restaurants do you go to? Can you cut back on the number of times you entertain or go out to dinner? Can you cut back on the types of entertainment you go to? Everyone nowadays seems to love everything electronic. But do you really need all those electronic toys? How fancy does your computer have to be? How much of a sound system do you need to enjoy your music? Can you do these things more cheaply or relinquish them altogether when necessary? It's better to know what your options are to conserve your assets rather than wait around and someday maybe have to give them up altogether. Right now, while you still have a choice, if the economy is affecting you adversely, and you're being forced to reorganize your priorities, you'd be best served by taking a look at what you have, what you're willing to give up, and what you're willing to economize on. So if you are ever in a position where you have to give up something or everything, it will be less painful. And by economizing now, when you're not being forced into it, you'll end up with a plus in your savings account. Many people just want to get away from it all and they go on holidays that they can ill afford. When they come back, nothing has changed in their lives, except now when they come back from holiday, they've less money than when they started. If you are going on holiday, make sure you can afford it and that there's still going to be money for you when you come back. Everyone needs a break in their routine, but it doesn't mean you have to spend money to take that break. Take advantage of the free things that are available to you, like walking, cycling, fishing, free concerts, art galleries, Museums? For entertainment, instead of going out and spending money on entertainment, how about having people over to your home, or going over to their home and maybe playing cards or board games? There are many ways to relax and have fun with other people that don't have to cost you a cent. In an economic recession, people get more depressed more easily, so they do need a little bit of a lift from time to time. However, there's no reason to think total depression at the thought of having no money, no entertainment, and nothing to break up the doom and gloom when there are plenty of free activities to do. All it requires is friends and family to pull together to do things that are enjoyable to lift one another's spirits. And learning how to economise can be enjoyable. For example, instead of going out to the store and buying expensive Christmas and birthday presents, why not start making your own? I have a friend who has a large family, and at Christmas time they pull one name out of a hat, and you only make or buy a present for that one person. That can save you money too. So to sum up wants and needs, you need food, shelter and clothing. Everything else above that is a want. For example, a big house, designer clothes, fancy foods, a new car, electronic goods. In the next part, I'm going to be showing you how you can have more of your wants by becoming a better shopper and negotiator. Don't touch that channel. We'll be right back.